The motive is as cold and calculated as it gets. Police say the victim was 5 months pregnant. Adams did not want to be a father, so he killed her, and he did it in front of her 1-year-old son. On January 27th, Tampa rapper Billy Adams was acquitted of 2 murders.
The defendant is not guilty.
Not guilty twice. Not long after he walked out of a Tampa courthouse, a free man. Police say he gunned down his pregnant girlfriend, Alana Devon Sims. Tampa police say they have strong evidence against Adams.
On a quiet evening in Tampa, Florida, the stillness was shattered by a chilling discovery. A silver Ford EcoSport SUV parked along a dimly lit residential street, its driver's side door partly open. Just a few feet away, the lifeless body of 22-year-old Alana Sims lay face down on the ground. Inside the vehicle, her 23-month-old son slept peacefully in his car seat, unaware of the tragedy that had unfolded nearby. Alana Sims was 5 months pregnant at the time of her death. She was a devoted mother, cherished by her family and friends for her caring nature and unwavering belief in the power of love. Her unexpected death left a void in the lives of those who knew her. As authorities investigated the circumstances surrounding Alana's death, they discovered that the suspect was someone she had trusted. This individual had recently been acquitted of a double homicide, a fact that added a complex layer to the unfolding narrative. This is a story about lies, about manipulation, about a man who thought he could get away with it all, and about a young mother who believed, right up until the very end, that love might fix everything. But instead, it cost her life. Welcome to Crimeberry Stories. Subscribe and hit the notification bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Tampa, Florida.
And we begin tonight with a pregnant mother found dead beside an SUV in Tampa. Her 1.5-year-old son asleep and unharmed inside. Tonight, her family is desperate for answers. This is Nightside. I'm Dave Wagner.
And I'm Angelina Salcido. 22-year-old Alana Sims was found lying in the street last night near the Eastern Park subdivision in New Tampa. Tonight, her family spoke only to 10 Tampa-based Shannon Clough, saying they just want to know what happened to her.
Before her name made the news, Alana Sims was just a 22-year-old young woman from Tampa, Florida, trying to figure out life like so many others. She was a devoted single mother to her 23-month-old son and was 5 months pregnant, and anyone who knew her would tell you that her son meant everything to her. His smile could brighten her worst days, and no matter how hard life got, she always put him first. Alana wasn't rich. She wasn't famous. She was real. She was the type of person who would drop everything if you needed help. A friend who answered calls late at night and offered a shoulder to cry on, even when her own life was full of struggles. Her family says Alana was the kind of person who believed in second chances. She wanted to see the good in people, even when they didn't deserve it. But behind her gentle heart, Alana carried a lot of weight on her shoulders. She was a single mom, raising her son mostly on her own. Money was tight, and some days were harder than others. But she didn't let that stop her from dreaming of a better future, for herself and for her child. Alana wanted to go back to school. She talked about finding a career she could be proud of, something that would give her and her son a stable life. But there was one part of her life that stayed messy, her love life. Alana had been in an off-and-on relationship with Billy Adams. It wasn't perfect. Far from it. But Alana, being who she was, kept hoping things would get better. When she found out she was pregnant again, she believed it was a sign, a chance for a fresh start, a chance to build the family she always wanted. She had no idea that the person she was trying to build a future with would be the one to take it all away. Billy Bennett Adams, also known as the rapper Ace NH, was a 25-year-old Tampa native with a complex background. He graduated from the University of South Florida with a bachelor's degree in management and had aspirations to join the military. Adams resided with his parents in an upscale gated community north of Tampa, where he also cared for his father, a disabled veteran. In November 2020, Adams was involved in a fatal shooting at a home recording studio in Lutz, Florida, resulting in the deaths of 2 men. He claimed self-defense, stating he feared for his life during the incident. In January 2023, a jury acquitted him of the double homicide charges after deliberating for several hours. Billy was someone Alana had known for a while. Their relationship was never perfect. It was off and on, filled with ups and downs, and plenty of red flags that people close to Alana worried about. But Alana had a soft heart. She believed in second chances. And she believed Billy could change. What Alana may not have fully understood was how dangerous Billy's life had become. Back in 2020, Billy was charged in a double homicide. 2 men were shot and killed inside a recording studio in Tampa. Billy claimed it was self-defense, that he was protecting himself from a robbery. For nearly 3 years, that case hung over his head. But in January 2023, just weeks before Alana's death, a jury found Billy not guilty. He walked out of that courtroom a free man. For Billy, it was a fresh start. For Alana, it felt like a chance to finally move forward with him. Because there was something else tying them together. Alana was pregnant. And the baby? She believed it was Billy's. Despite all the rocky history between them, Alana hoped this baby might change things. Maybe Billy would want to step up, be a father, and finally get his life together. In the days leading up to her death, Alana and Billy were in contact. Text messages showed Alana was excited. Billy told her they were going to celebrate his acquittal, a night to relax and look ahead to better days. Alana believed him. She wanted to believe him. She got dressed up. She made sure her little boy was with her, ready to spend the evening together as a family. What Alana didn't know was that Billy had his own plan. And it had nothing to do with celebration. Those texts, the ones filled with hope and excitement, were just part of a cruel setup. Billy wasn't planning a party. He was planning her death. In the span of a few messages, Billy turned Alana's hope into his weapon. And she walked right into the trap, never realizing the man she wanted a future with had already decided she wasn't going to have one. On January 30th, 2023, Alana Sims woke up with a sense of hope. She believed that evening would mark a new beginning for her and her unborn child. Billy Adams, recently acquitted of double murder charges, had invited her to a celebration. As evening approached, Alana secured her 23-month-old son in his car seat. She didn't have a babysitter and believed the celebration would be a family affair. Driving her borrowed Ford EcoSport, she headed to the designated location, a quiet residential street in the Easton Park subdivision of New Tampa. Surveillance footage later revealed that at 7:36 p.m., Alana's SUV entered the Easton Park neighborhood. Just 14 minutes earlier, at 7:22 p.m., a black Chevy Malibu registered to Billy's father had been seen entering the same area. Alana parked her vehicle along the curb, leaving her son safely strapped in the back seat. She stepped out, likely scanning the area for Billy, anticipating his arrival and the festivities to come. What transpired next is pieced together from evidence and investigation. Billy arrived and met Alana outside her car. Instead of a celebration, an argument ensued. In a sudden and violent turn, Billy produced a firearm and shot Alana in the head. She collapsed near her vehicle, just feet away from her sleeping toddler. At 8:21 p.m., surveillance captured the black Chevy Malibu leaving the neighborhood. Alana's SUV remained parked, its engine likely cooling in the evening air. Around 8:32 p.m., a passerby noticed Alana lying on the ground beside her car. Mistaking her for someone intoxicated, they continued on their way, unaware of the gravity of the situation. Alana had planned to pick up a friend from work at 9 p.m. When she didn't show, concern began to grow among those who knew her. It wasn't until shortly after 10 p.m. that another individual passing by saw Alana lying in a pool of blood and called 911. First responders arrived to a grim scene, a young woman, 5 months pregnant, shot dead beside her car. Inside the vehicle, her 23-month-old son remained unharmed, still strapped into his car seat, surrounded by the eerie silence of the night. The community was left in shock. A mother and her unborn child had been taken in an act of senseless violence, leaving a toddler without his mother's embrace. As investigators began piecing together the events of that night, the evidence would soon point back to the man Alana had trusted, the man she believed was ready to celebrate a future together. Instead, he had orchestrated a tragic end to her life. When officers arrived at the scene where Alana Sims was found, they were met with a perplexing and tragic sight. A young woman, 5 months pregnant, lay lifeless beside her SUV. Inside the vehicle, her 18-month-old son slept peacefully, unaware of the horror that had unfolded just feet away. Initially, the motive behind this heinous act was unclear. There were no immediate signs pointing to robbery or assault. Alana's belongings appeared undisturbed, and there was no evidence to suggest a random act of violence. The neighborhood, typically quiet and safe, had no history of such brutal crimes. Detectives were left grappling with the question, who would want to harm Alana, and why? An autopsy was promptly conducted, revealing the cause of death to be a fatal gunshot wound. This confirmation intensified the urgency of the investigation. A young mother and her unborn child had been callously murdered, and the perpetrator was still at large. The community's sense of security was shattered, and the pressure to find answers mounted. Investigators began by retracing Alana's final movements. They examined her phone records, uncovering a series of calls and text messages that painted a clearer picture of her last day. These communications led them to a familiar name, Billy Adams. Just days prior, Billy had been acquitted of a double homicide, a fact that was already on the detectives' radar. Alana's friends and family confirmed that she considered Billy her boyfriend and believed him to be the father of her unborn child. Despite their tumultuous relationship, Alana had been hopeful about their future together, especially after his recent acquittal. She had confided in friends about plans to celebrate with Billy on the night of her death, believing it to be a turning point for their relationship. Detectives delved deeper into digital evidence, analyzing cell phone data and surveillance footage from the area. They discovered that a vehicle matching the description of Billy's car had been spotted near the crime scene around the time of Alana's death. Additionally, cell tower records indicated that Billy's phone had pinged in the vicinity, contradicting his initial statements to the police. Confronted with this mounting evidence, detectives brought Billy in for questioning. He denied any involvement, claiming he hadn't seen Alana recently and was unaware of her pregnancy. However, the evidence told a different story. The digital trail placed him at the scene, and witnesses corroborated Alana's belief that they were meeting to celebrate his acquittal. A chilling realization began to take shape. Billy had allegedly lured Alana to a secluded area under the guise of celebration, only to commit an unthinkable act. The betrayal was unfathomable. A man she trusted, the father of her unborn child, had allegedly orchestrated her death. As the investigation progressed, detectives uncovered more evidence linking Billy to the crime. Witnesses reported seeing his car in the area, and forensic analysis revealed gunshot residue on items recovered from his vehicle. The case against Billy Adams was building, and the community awaited justice for Alana and her unborn child. When detectives approached Billy Adams regarding Alana Sims' tragic death, his responses raised immediate red flags. Initially, Billy claimed he was at home during the time of the murder. However, when confronted with evidence placing him near the crime scene, his story shifted. He then stated he had been out with friends, even providing a video as supposed proof. This sudden change in narrative only deepened investigators' suspicions. As detectives delved deeper, Billy attempted to divert blame elsewhere. He suggested that others might be responsible for Alana's death, but he couldn't provide any credible leads or evidence to support these claims. This tactic appeared to be a desperate move to mislead the investigation. Billy had told Alana they were going to a party to celebrate his recent acquittal. However, investigators found no evidence of such a gathering. Friends and acquaintances were unaware of any planned celebration, and no party took place that evening. This revelation dismantled Billy's alibi, revealing it as a fabrication designed to lure Alana into a vulnerable situation. The mounting evidence against Billy was compelling. Phone records placed him in the vicinity of the crime scene at the relevant time. Surveillance footage captured a vehicle matching his car near the location where Alana was found. Additionally, forensic analysis linked him to the crime, further solidifying the case against him. Confronted with these findings, Billy's attempts to deflect blame and provide inconsistent accounts only served to strengthen the case against him. The evidence painted a chilling picture of premeditation and betrayal, leading to his arrest for the murder of Alana Sims and her unborn child. Unraveling the motive behind the tragic death of Alana Sims leads us into a web of fear, deception, and betrayal. Investigators believe that Billy Adams, freshly acquitted of a double homicide, saw Alana's pregnancy as a threat to his newfound freedom and aspirations. He feared that the responsibilities of fatherhood would derail his fresh start after his acquittal. Text messages between Billy and another woman, LaKenya Brantley, reveal his turmoil over Alana's pregnancy. A day before the murder, Adams exchanged text messages with Brantley, who investigators said was troubled by Sims' pregnancy. Adams reassured her that he wanted to have a life and that she, referring to Sims, would not be included. He texted, "Tomorrow this sheet is done." Brantley responded, "This ain't the way, baby." These exchanges shed light on Billy's desperation to sever ties with Alana, even if it meant resorting to violence. Billy was leading a double life. While Alana believed he was committed to her and their unborn child, he was involved in a new relationship with another woman. This woman was unaware of Alana's existence and the impending birth of Billy's child. The prospect of his secret life being exposed added pressure on Billy to eliminate any obstacles to his desired future. In a calculated move, Billy allegedly lured Alana to a secluded area under the pretense of celebrating his recent acquittal. Believing they were embarking on a new chapter together, Alana walked into a trap set by someone she trusted. This cold and deliberate act underscores the lengths Billy was willing to go to protect his new life, free from the responsibilities and connections he deemed burdensome. The convergence of these factors paints a chilling picture of a man desperate to escape his past and willing to commit an unthinkable act to secure his future. Alana's tragic death serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of deceit and the extreme measures some may take when cornered by their own lies. Following the arrest of Billy Adams for the murder of Alana Sims, the legal proceedings attracted significant media attention. The case's notoriety was heightened by the fact that Adams had been acquitted of a double homicide just days before the alleged crime. Prosecutors presented a compelling narrative of deception and premeditation. They highlighted how Adams allegedly lured Sims under false pretenses, leading to her tragic death. Evidence included altered video footage Adams provided as an alibi, which investigators determined was recorded on a different date. The defense portrayed Adams as remorseful, suggesting that the incident was not premeditated. However, this stance was undermined by evidence of Adams' inconsistent statements and attempts to mislead investigators. Initially claiming he was at home during the murder, Adams later changed his story when confronted with contradictory evidence. During the trial, Alana Sims' family delivered emotional impact statements, expressing their profound grief and the void left by her loss. Their testimonies underscored the devastating consequences of the crime on those who loved her. A judge has ruled that Hillsborough prosecutors will only need to convince 8 jurors, not 12, that Billy Adams should receive the death penalty if he is found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of Alana Sims. In a 3-page order issued, Hillsborough Circuit Judge Mark Kaiser rejected arguments from Adams' defense that a new Florida law, which lowered the threshold for juries to recommend capital punishment from a unanimous vote to an 8-4 vote, should not apply to his case. As of March 2025, Billy Adams remains in custody awaiting trial for the murder of Alana Sims. Following his arrest in February 2023, Adams has been held without bail at the Falkenberg Road Jail in Tampa, Florida. His defense attorneys have sought to keep certain court documents sealed to ensure a fair trial, arguing that public disclosure could prejudice potential jurors. The trial has experienced delays due to legal proceedings and the defense's motions, but it is currently scheduled to commence later this year. Alana Sims' tragic death left a void in her family and community. Her nearly 2-year-old son, found asleep in the car beside her body, is now under the care of his grandmother, Shalivi Sims. The family has come together to provide him with a nurturing environment, ensuring he feels loved and supported despite the loss of his mother. Vigils and memorials have been organized, offering solace to grieving loved ones and raising awareness about domestic violence and coercive control. Alana's story is a poignant example of the dangers many face in abusive relationships. It underscores the need for increased awareness and resources to protect vulnerable individuals, especially pregnant women. By sharing her story, we hope to shed light on these critical issues and inspire action to prevent similar tragedies. If you or someone you know is in an unsafe relationship, it's crucial to seek help immediately. We invite you to share your thoughts on this case in the comments below. Do you believe Billy's recent acquittal influenced his actions? Did it make him feel untouchable? Your perspectives are valuable and can foster meaningful discussions. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. In our next episode, we'll delve into another harrowing tale of betrayal and violence that you won't want to miss. Remember, sometimes, the deadliest lies are the ones told by people we trust the most.